I'm pretty sure it was known, and I think we were surprised at how easy it was because it's not easy to do in like even the arcade games. Um, but there was some, oh my god, there was some wild stuff that we found, and we kind of like got hung up on some of the stuff, and we were like, because they would give us updates. They said like, oh yeah, we can update the stuff like on the fly because they had the Xboxes were connected to like a server, but the PlayStation versions they had to actually like burn to a disk. So we were getting the Xbox updates. Some of the stuff was just like there were there were block string infinites on combos with one hit. Like so, like I'm just throwing this out there. Like Cyrax, he could just do like a standing one, doom, 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 over and over and over again. There was no escape. I don't know how that gets through a year of just like development. And then none of the salary testers say anything. They had to know that was the thing. Um, and then after like we explained that, and then we found like another one with another character, and then we told them about that, and then we're like, like we understand like this is like I don't know, it seems minor, but you can't release a game that has net play, especially. You can't release a game like this on day one and have this kind of stuff in it because people are just gonna shit all over it. Um, but then we were somebody I don't know if it was Conqueror or somebody was like using Liu Kang or maybe it was Check, and he found a two-hit combo. So now it's like do do, and now it's a block string, two hits, and it's like oh my god, like this is probably everywhere. This is probably like riddled throughout the whole game, and we like just kept complaining about it. Like we're doing a lot of like one-on-one stuff, and they really wanted us to do more like solo testing, which didn't make any sense to us because it's not how it was pitched to us. At least it's not how it was pitched to me, and I was the last person they got out there because they had asked everyone else who went out there if there was anybody missing that should come out there because it was the first like real like serious MK back. Because you had MK DC, so you hadn't had I don't know, it's like 5 years since like a pure MK game. I think Armageddon was like '06 or something like that, or '07. So then so then 2011. So it was like 4 or 5 years. So that's almost like the jump between like MK4 and Deadly Alliance. Like 97, 98 to '02. But I didn't hear anything about any kind of like block string infinites, but like they're always prevalent. But like Cabal still had one, and again, like it's tough to find everything, especially in 4.5 days. But like Cabal had the like I think he had like a dash cancel block string infinite that was still there. I want to say as of like it must have been like ECT that year. I think somebody said that it was still there in the game, and I think whoever played as Cabal didn't either they didn't use it or it wasn't like realized by like other players, something like that. So it was there. Um, but yeah, it's that kind of like really like minute, like really like trite, like kind of like purely competitive, just like nonsense. Like that was what we thought we were there for, but it was more like finding things that like break the game that I guess their salary testers missed, and then if we had time, they would like tweak some stuff. Because even like Ed Boon himself, like we had like a final meeting on the last day, and he like sat with us for like a half hour, and he's sitting at the table, and it's like a big round table, and it's like me and like Tom Brady and Crazy Bone, and like a few other guys, and he asks us like, okay, he's like, let's just say that we have the ability to change anything in this game. We have as much time as we need. Like, what do you guys suggest? And we were like kind of stunned by that because like we really thought we were there for like just purely technical stuff. Um, but it was really like we could have like suggested like I don't know like even like a like character design or something like that like could have been like something that we could have like we didn't think we were there for that. So we told them we're like really we're just it's just like damage and like speed and like, just like frame data and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, you guys realize that that's just like, turning like knobs and stuff like that. He's like, that's like nothing. They're like, that's what we thought we were here for. We didn't really think we were gonna have, like any kind of like serious influence over the game, like design or anything like that. But but that's like what it turned into, like slowly over like course of a few days, and then we realized it. But yeah, it was a blast. But I never expected to do anything like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I was like going to meet up with my buddy at the bar one night, and I get a text message from Tim Static, and he's like, expect an email within the next like I don't know, like 48 hours, like over the weekend or something like that. And I was like, I was like, what does that mean? And he gave me no other information. He's like, that is all. And I was like, okay. So it was like the next day I was at work. I was working in pharmacy at the time, and I get a phone call from a number that I don't recognize, and I was just like, okay. I'm like, maybe this is it. And then I, I checked the voicemail, and I play the voicemail with my boss there, and it's Hector Sanchez, and he gives me like a little brief like synopsis, and he asked me to call him back, and I was just like, mind if I go take this call? And he's like, you told me this might be happening, and I was just like, yeah. I was like, well, let's go. So I went outside, called him back, talked everything over, and it was like totally surreal, because that's like just definitely not the kind of thing that you ever think they would even consider doing, because they're very secretive to begin with. Because like, we had to sign your typical NDA, but it wasn't just that. Wasn't like just it. It was like you can't tell anybody anything at all, like nothing at all. Like there's one thing about like hidden stuff, but it's like you can't even like confirm stuff that's already confirmed. That was so we all kept it very, very quiet. I know there was like some leak somewhere at some point, and they got upset, but like I think they knew who did it. To this day I don't. But yeah, yeah, it was definitely. It wasn't. I wouldn't even say like a bucket list item, because it was never even a thought. And it's funny because about 2 months before, I was coming back from NEC, and it was the last NEC before, so it was NEC 2010. It's the last NEC before MK9. And I'm driving back to New Jersey with Czech. I don't know if you guys know who Czech is, Czech 4900. But he's like a combo artist, competitive player, and particularly for the like PS2 Euro games. And we're driving back, and we just did like an MKDC tournament, like the first one that was ever like truly like, well, there was like thought put into it, and like people actually came out for it. And it didn't happen for like 2 years after the game came out. And he says to me, he's just like, I got a feeling that like we're gonna do something big with MK9. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna like run tournaments for it and everything. We're gonna really push it, really get it out there. And he goes, no, no, no. He's like, we're gonna like be involved. And I was, he didn't have any idea, but he like, it's always been like a dream of his to get into that stuff. And then lo and behold, he must have been talking to Brady or something. Brady was probably telling him, he's like, that we have to get people out here, because Brady was already like there for like at least a few months. But yeah, it was great. They flew us out. They paid us, catering every day. It was pretty nice. But met a few of the original actors. Who was it? One of the Piscinas was there. I think it was Raiden. Was it Carlos? Right? Carlos was Raiden. And somebody else was out there too. But yeah, it's pretty wild. We did DVD interviews. They were supposed to do. I was like, I think I'm just watching the screen. I don't know what the hell was happening there between Leonardo's. But yeah, we were. What the hell we were doing? We were doing DVD like interviews about the testing process and what we thought of the game, but that was supposed to be released on maybe like the complete edition or some kind of like collector's edition that was going to have extra content, but they never wound up using it. That was disappointing. I really wanted to see that stuff get out there. But yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Now I've gone on for like another half hour here, just blabbing. Yeah, yeah. All that making of stuff is really fascinating, even still to watch that stuff. But yeah, I was just kind of curious as to what the other guys that were there testing had to, if they, felt the same way. 'Cause I was honest in mine, but I wasn't looking to to like fluff up a game that I didn't really think was that good. But it really seemed good to us when we were out there. MK9. It's still got like a little like cult base, I guess you could say, out of the whole like series. It's got like some like fans that think it's like the best one of that era. Um, but they did take a lot of our suggestions too, which was good. Some very specific things. Oh, I didn't even know they had like a special with Kratos. That's interesting though. Very interesting. All right, so I think that's gonna be it for the night. But appreciate all you guys sticking around and getting to see me beat another one. Like I said, I don't remember if I ever beat Hyperstone Heist by myself, but if not, that was a crowning achievement. Oh yeah. Well, actually, real quick. There was a couple pretty serious bugs that I found that they got rid of like immediately. Cause like, and that's when I realized like after we had like the conversation, and I was like, all right, well, let me really like sit down and try to find something. I had noticed that you could control the characters after the X-rays were activated for like a brief moment. There was like you could see them move while the cinematic part happened, and that should not be. And the at least the one that I found it on was one of Quan Chi's. It was Quan Chi's X-ray where he, I guess it's only one, but when he throws the skull at them, and then he makes them like break their own neck. Um, I noticed that the sequence before it goes to the cinematic, you could do an attack, and you would see the character like in the background of him. So like closer, I always say like this, like closer to the camera is Quan Chi, and you like this other character. He's like over here, like in perspective. And when he did it, I noticed like the character like attacked, and I was like, ooh, I was like, that's not good. And it's like that kind of tiny little thing, that somebody's gonna pick up on. Like that's the kind of stuff that they want, gone. But you could attack Quan Chi. It's just I don't remember if you could hit him with anything. Um, but what you could do, and we didn't really test a whole lot, was in tag mode. You could tag the character that was in. So, like, say, like, get a character, like, say, again, well, there's like Quan Chi's here, and your other character's here, and say he gets the X-ray. He'll take that first little hit, But then you could tag that character. They would run out. The other character would come in, and they would take the rest of the damage from the X-ray. And I recorded that because they had another station separate just for recording bugs. And I recorded that and showed them that, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, like we'll get rid of that immediately," because that was like, that's just not something that can have in the game. And there was what the hell was it? There was something that Brady found. There's some kind of issue between like Sub-Zero and Raiden, where like Raiden, he would get like stuck like on the upper half of the screen, like walking around. We're like, okay, that's obviously like a disastrous bug that shouldn't be in the game. But then like a lot of our like nerfs and buffs for characters, they took like one of mine I remember them taking specifically was human smoke. Well, just smoke, I guess, in that game. I don't remember if they had any robot smoke in it. But his teleport punch initially only did 5% total. Like that's just like terribly like, I mean, nothing. And we were having a match. I was having a match with Brady, and he was showing them, and he's like this move, like he's like, I don't care about this move, like I don't fear it, like he can hit me with 20 of them before I die. He's like, and it's got nothing to it. So like I got like a damage buff on that move, and we got like a frame trap with Noob Saibot removed, where like he could like knock you down and then frame trap you with the tackle clone from like full screen, and it was like really impressive. And there was like one other little aspect to him, but then they showed us Cabal. It was me and Conqueror. We were playing in a match, and I think Conqueror was using Cabal, and Paulo comes over and he goes, oh, he's like, try this, and he goes, do the spin and then hit like back and block or whatever, and he does the spin and then he stops, and then Mo 30W is there watching us. And he says to Paulo, he goes, "Are you guys gonna fix that?" he thought it was a bug. He thought it was like a known, because they gave us like a list of like known bugs. Might have been something that they found afterwards. We didn't realize that it was an intentional feature for Cabal, was to be able to stop the dash midway, and that was like, that should have been like the first sign. Like I was like, well, that's gonna be broken, and lo and behold, it was. But yeah, there was a bunch of stuff. Yeah, please delete Cabal. That would have been the easiest way. But yeah, that was silly. Yeah, well, we got like a bunch of stuff. I think Jade. Oh my God, Jade was like really powerful. Like really like her like the way like her projectile, like her projectile projection worked, and then like how much meter you could build like while she was in it was just like insane. Like she could like build up enough meter to use like the enhanced version like every time again, like, so it was just like repeated. But yeah, it was pretty nuts. Yeah, Cabal just has a really good move set. It's like, as long as he has like the dash and like the air projectiles, like he's always going to be a good character. Even though they like slowed it down a lot, the spin dash, but yeah, yeah. You know, his story is like as throwaway as Strikers, because I think they're kind of like, they're connected, but yeah, they're like two sides of the same coin. I still got friggin' turtles just running here. But anyway, so that'll do it for tonight. But again, I'll most likely see is tomorrow. I don't know, 100%. Definitely not Saturday. So, and then we got MKNJ coming up in like 2 months at Helix Esports in North Bergen. We'll be doing an MK1 tournament. I got to see about getting some PS5s by then. And that's going to be fun. You know, that should be an all-day event. Hopefully we'll get, like 64 players we're aiming for. And that'll be streamed on us on Combat Network. Me and Icy, Mike Metro will be there running brackets. So that'll be a fun Saturday. And then, like I said, I'm still waiting on Summer Jam, which is 2 weeks before that. So that's about a month and a half, a little more than a month and a half in a way. But so, and always, follow us, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe, follow here if you're not following. If you like, retro stuff, it's basically what I do right now. And we'll be looking to do some more tournaments in the near future. And Mike Metroid, when he comes on, he does like some retro stuff, but first-person shooters or the boomer shooters, the old school ones. Those are always fun. I love those. And he runs MK stuff, MK11, MKX, MK9. So, all right. I will see you guys next time. Have a great night.